Oh boy. Oh man, there's going to be a lot to talk about here tonight for the AEW Dynamite review right here on the Big Five Field channel. What is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. This was the Fallout episode of Dynamite, past Double or Nothing, and tonight was a great show from AEW. Lots to talk about for the future of AEW. What's going to be happening for the next few weeks? We saw a huge battle royal to crown the first challenger for Cody Rhodes' TNT Championship. A big debut for AEW tonight, and then also Chris Jericho got in a huge brawl with someone we saw on Saturday. Who was it? I'll talk about it right here on the AEW Dynamite review tonight, right here on the Big Five Field channel. But first, I want to get a couple things out of the way. First off, make sure you guys check out recent videos here on the Big Five Field channel. If you've missed my Double or Nothing review, make sure you guys go check that out. And also, you got the Monday Night Raw review that I posted on Monday. Make sure you guys go check those videos down below. And also, I gotta give a couple shout outs, man. There's two individuals in the community that I've grown and been friends with for the past couple weeks. They both have YouTube channels, just like I do, and I want to shout them out. YouTube channel at the Sports and Wrestling Rerun or something like that. It's not finished all the way, but make sure you guys go subscribe to him. And then finally, I want to give my shout out to my man, The Elitist, who's been killing it on YouTube with his reviews and other videos on the content. He is at 450 subs. So let's try to get him to 500 subs as soon as possible. He is posting some great content here on YouTube. So go subscribe to the Elitist and go subscribe to the Sports and Wrestling Rundown. That's it. The Sports and Wrestling Rundown. Go subscribe to those two right now. Let's start the AEW Dynamite review right here on the channel. And we started off with Joey Janela and Private Party versus the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy. And all the members of the Elite and Matt Hardy are in the back. And Hangman Page is like, I'm going to go back to the hotel and get myself a drink. And Kenny Omega went to go follow him back to the hotel. So then Matt Hardy's like, maybe I should go a little bit old school tonight as we are in a six-man tag team match. And we see Matt Hardy in purple tights and a bandana on his head. So we saw old school Matt Hardy tonight. That was awesome. So this was the first match to start off. We got Janela and Private Party versus the Bucks and Matt Hardy. This was not the talking point of the segment, but it was a very good six-man tag team match, and I took notes for it. So here we go. Matt Jackson and Mark Quinn start off the match. The Bucks hit some offense on Private Party. The Bucks and Matt Hardy then triple team on Joey Janela. They're talking about greatest tag teams of all time, and Excalibur just randomly brung up Jeff Hardy, and I put that in my notes. Another thing I'm going to say right now, AEW is not petty whatsoever. They're not scared. They mention WWE out of the blue water, and I like that. It shows that they don't care. This is not a war for them, and, they're just going by business. I like they don't hide information. They're not hiding when they talk about WWE. So I just wanted to bring that up. Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party hits a stunner on Nick Jackson. Mark Quinn jumps over. Then Janela hits a Death Valley driver. Cassidy has a abdominal stretch-in on Nick Jackson. Nick avoided silly string and hit a super kick on Mark Quinn. On the outside, the Bucks are on the outside, and Matt Jackson randomly gives the Butcher a super kick. He gives the Blade a super kick, and then the Butcher attacks both Young Bucks. So the Butcher and the Blade and the Young Bucks are going at it during the entire match. Not the entire match. They're going at it in the ringside area. Jackson then throws a facebuster, then hits a facebuster on Cassidy, and Matt Hardy tags him. Matt Hardy hits a double DDT on Private Party and Joey Janela. Matt Hardy then hits a triple moonsault onto Janela and Private Party. Janela then kicks Matt Jackson on his back head. Janela then gets hung up on the ropes and eats a double super kick, and Private Party does a tope suicida on the Young Bucks. On the outside, Mark Quinn is in tons of pain. I believe he hurt his right knee on this. This was not fake. This was legit. Mark Quinn really looked hurt in this instance. Isaiah Cassidy was concerned. Isaiah Cassidy got took off guard. Matt Hardy hit a moonsault on Cassidy for the win. And then after the match, Matt Hardy went to go check on Mark Quinn, shook his hand, and Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy helped Mark Quinn to the back. So Matt Hardy is a class act, folks. Matt Hardy is a class act. After the match, the Young Bucks are standing in the ring, and they get attacked by the Butcher and the Blade from what happened earlier on. Then we see a truck pulling up to Daly's place, and out of this truck come Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, FTR, in AEW. So the wrestlers are cheering them very loudly. They stare down at the Young Bucks, at the FTR. They stare down the Young Bucks, and then they go and they attack the Butcher and the Blade. Dax Harwood is holding up the Butcher, and Cash Wheeler jumps off the second rope, slams his feet, so the Butcher goes down, and then they give the Blade Shatter Machine. So that was very nice to see. And we get a stare down at the end between the Young Bucks and FTR. The Young Bucks offer a nice handshake, and FTR walked away. This was fantastic. This was awesome. A great way to debut the Revolt, or FTR, and it would have been very predictable if they just came in and attacked the Young Bucks and their heel tag team. But they came in, they actually helped the Young Bucks. They attacked the Butcher and the Blade, and it seems like we could be getting a feud between the Young Bucks and the Revolt, or FTR, just based off of respect and the respect they have for each other as tag team wrestlers. And they're two of the greatest tag teams in the world, but I like that they did that. I like that they didn't do the obvious. Now, I'm going to talk about this. I can see FTR making their debut against the Butcher and the Blade, and them eventually defeating the Butcher and the Blade in their first match. Now, a lot of people, or that could happen at Fyter Fest, I don't know. But a lot of people on social media are saying, we're going to get the Young Bucks versus the FTR at Fyter Fest. It's going to happen at Fyter Fest. Fyter Fest is not a pay-per-view. It's just a show. It's like last year. It was free on BR Live, and it's probably going to be the same thing this year. And a match like the Young Bucks and FTR should not be a free pay-per-view buy match. That shit needs to happen at All Out. It's going to happen at All Out, in my opinion. And thinking about it, the Young Bucks versus the Revolt, in my mind, now it does not need the tag team titles. If they want to go back and revisit the Revolt and the Young Bucks for the tag team titles, they can certainly do that. But for now, I would not make it for the tag team titles. I don't think it's going to be for the tag team titles. But I mean, the match just writes itself. We're going to see one of the greatest tag team matches in our century. I'm telling you right now. You got the Revolt and the Young Bucks in the same ring in a classic tag team match. They're going to put on a 5-star classic for you guys. I'm guaranteeing it right now. This was awesome. I did not expect FTR to debut tonight on Dynamite. I legit marked out when they came. I was screaming, holy shit, FTR are here. Stuff like that. I legit marked out. This was incredible. Brian Cage made his singles debut against Lee Johnson, and he squashed Lee Johnson in 2 minutes. Moxley was on commentary with JR. I forgot something about the first match that I'm actually going to go back and talk about. Moxley was on commentary with but JR was on commentary, and the Butcher and the Blade were coming out to attack the Young Bucks. JR said this line, "At least they're not stuck behind plexiglass." And I laughed my ass off when he said that. I legit laughed my ass off when Jim Ross said, "At least they're not stuck behind plexiglass." That was a great shot by Jim Ross right there. And I know the shills, the WWE shills, are going to be offended by this, and they're going to come out on Twitter, and they're going to be soft. You know, it's definitely coming. It'll probably happen tomorrow, if anything. But Brian Cage squashes Lee Johnson in 2 minutes. Taz gets on the microphone. He addresses the champ, Jon Moxley. He says, "Champ, I have a lot of respect for you and your grind and your hard work and your passion for the AEW World Championship. You took down Mr. Brody Lee at Double or Nothing. But when you face Brian Cage, it's a whole different story. He's the machine." And he said this line, and this was a great line. "Beat him if you can. Survive if he lets you." Fantastic. Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage for the World Championship is confirmed for Fyter Fest. It's probably going to main event Fyter Fest. Sign me up, man. It's going to be the same as Moxley and Brody Lee. I'm all aboard on Brian Cage and his partnership with Taz. It's already working brilliantly in AEW. Britt Baker then comes out next. She comes out on a wheelchair. She's pushed out by some lady. Tony Schiavone's sitting there. There's a clipboard, I think, or a bulletin board of different wrestlers. She talks about Chris Statlander and Hikari Shiina. Always saying Hikari Shiina is not a good women's champion. Nyla Rose. She said about Chris Statlander. She said, "Chris Statlander, you being an alien is a crock of shit." I LOL'd. She talks about Nyla Rose, and she talked about Aubrey Edwards at the bulletin board. Every time Britt Baker was injured, concussion, knee injury, head injury, she was there. She was always there for Britt Baker's injury, like talking crap on Aubrey Edwards. And then she said that she will make her return. She'll be back by All Out. So I think, what's the date for All Out? September 5th is the date. So she'll be back by September. It'll probably take 4 months for her to be cleared, and that's that. Good promo, really good promo actually from Britt Baker. Her line about Chris Statlander was hilarious, and I'm sure she will definitely be in a match at All Out. We just don't know what yet, but who knows, man. We'll have to see. I hope Britt Baker gets better soon, and because the women's division is gonna miss her. I can tell you that. We then saw a women's match between Christie James and Hikari Shida. And this Christie James girl, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but I mean, she looked decent. She gave me Alexa Bliss vibes, and that's not a good thing. She gave me Alexa Bliss vibes, but she looked way better than Alexa Bliss does in a wrestling league. I just want to say that. But she put up a good fight against Hikari Shida. This was a solid match. Hikari Shida beat her in 6 minutes with 2 knee strikes. This was just to get Hikari Shida on the right board with her reign as the AEW Women's Champion. And I'm sure that a rematch with Nyla Rose at Fyter Fest is the way to go. And Shida will retain the AEW Women's Championship against Nyla Rose at Fyter Fest. That's the way I see this going with Hikari Shida and Nyla Rose. But besides that, I mean, Christie James looked pretty decent. Not gonna lie. Tony Schiavone was in the ring. He then welcomed the new AEW TNT champion, Cody. Folks, there are great promos that we see a lot. Every week, we almost point out a great promo. Whether it's on Raw, NXT, AEW, or SmackDown. There are excellent promos. And then there are Cody Rhodes type promos. This was a Cody Rhodes type promo. He says, Tom Brady is my favorite quarterback. No, I did not grow up from Massachusetts. But do you know why Tom Brady is my favorite quarterback? Because he wasn't handpicked first, second, or third. And neither was Cody. No matter if people thought Cody was getting favoritism in the AEW backstage, or Tom Brady was getting favoritism from his football team, they worked and worked and worked, and they tried to be the best on the roster at what they can do. Cody says, I was fortunate enough that I won at Double or Nothing and I defeated Lance Archer. And Cody went on to say that when I'm in this ring, you can't out-wrestle me, you can't out-think me, you can't out-smart me, you can't out-run me, you can't out-track me. Cody Rhodes cut a very emotional and great promo. He then says, I will be here every week because I have a busy schedule coming up with me as the TNT champion. I will be here every single week, standing in the ring and giving the entire locker room a TNT Championship Open Challenge. So every week, we're going to be seeing a Cody Rhodes TNT Championship Open Challenge. Brilliant. This is brilliant. And this goes to all of the haters who said, oh, Cody Rhodes being the TNT champion, he's putting over himself and he doesn't care about the roster and the TNT championship sucks. They are clearly idiots. They're idiots. Cody Rhodes has already prestiged the TNT championship, and he hasn't even had a match for the TNT championship yet. And this gives me John Cena United States Championship Open Challenge vibes that he did in 2018. when he faced off against guys like Kevin Owens and Neville and Cesaro and Sami Zayn at one point. I think he faced Bray Wyatt, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but John Cena had great matches as the United States champion with his United States Championship Open Challenge, and to me, it never got old. And I think this is a huge success. This will be a great success, and this will only make the TNT Championship more prestigious than it is now. And that's great. I love it. I absolutely love it. Cody Rhodes is going to legitimize the TNT Championship. We then go to a tag team match between Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc versus Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky of SCU. Now, the winners of this match will get a tag team title match against Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. I don't know why, but that's what they said. So, Sabian and Havoc attack SCU before the bell. Sky goes after Havoc, and the match starts. Scorpio Sky hits a backbreaker on Kip Sabian for a 2 count. Kazarian then hits a wheel kick on Kip Sabian. Havoc tags in, and Kazarian hits a leg drop on Havoc's arm. Sky then tags in. SCU hit a double team knee strike into a suplex on Jimmy Havoc. Kaz hits a small package. Jimmy Havoc then pushes Kazarian, and Kip Sabian hits a enziguri, and Havoc takes advantage. Sabian hits a back elbow on Kazarian for a kickout. Havoc is squeezing Kazarian's face. During break, this was during the commercial, Sabian hits a pump kick into Frankie Kazarian's chest. Kazarian is fighting back, and Scorpio Sky makes the tag. Sky hits a beautiful drop kick on Kip Sabian. Havoc hits a tag, makes the tag, then Sabian makes the tag back with, I'm getting confused here. Sabian hits a double foot stomp for a breakup by Frankie Kazarian. Kaz hits a swinging DDT on Havoc for a kickout. Sabian accidentally hits a senton on Jimmy Havoc. SCU go for SCU later. Ford grabs Frankie Kazarian's foot. Sabian throws Kazarian, and Kip Sabian throws Kazarian. Kip Sabian hits a drop kick, and Jimmy Havoc does a pile driver combination. And Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc win the match, and they will face Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page for the tag team titles next week. So they're laying off with this best friends getting a tag team title match until Fyter Fest, which I'm fine with, I guess. I don't know why this would be a number one contender match, but I guess it's just to get Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page back on the right track after they've been out for so long. So they got their win. The Omega and Page got their tag team title wins over SCU twice, the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks at Revolution, and they'll add Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc to the match, to their list next week, because they probably don't stand a chance beating Omega and Page. But I mean, that match should be really damn good next week. I'm looking forward to it. Sabian and Havoc are not going to win the tag team titles, but it's going to be a really damn good match. And as for this match that happened tonight, I mean, it was solid. It wasn't bad, but it felt overly predictable because I did not see SCU getting a second shot at the tag team titles. But I mean, it's whatever. It's a solid tag team match. We get a tag team title match next week between Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc versus Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. We then go into the Battle Royal. The Battle Royal And the winner would challenge Cody next week on Dynamite for the TNT Championship. We had guys like Sonny Kiss, Luther, Brandon Cutler, Peter Avalon, Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, Colt Cabana, Billy Gunn, MJF, Wardlow, Christopher Daniels. I think I'm missing a few names, but I mean, this was not the best Battle Royal AEW has done. Quite frankly, it might be one of their worst. The final sequence was fine. Orange Cassidy made his entrance to the ring, and he got attacked by... he made his entrance, and the bell rang, and he got attacked by Santana and Ortiz. Since what happened earlier tonight where Cassidy interrupted Chris Jericho's interview. So that really didn't make much sense. So Cassidy was laid out. Luther was eliminated first by Luchasaurus. Then Sonny Kiss was eliminated by MJF. And then I don't remember all the eliminations in a row, but Marco Stunt eliminated Christopher Daniels. This where things got interesting a little bit. Marco Stunt eliminated Christopher Daniels with a Havoc and Rana, and Wardlow then threw Marco Stunt onto Daniels for the elimination. We were down to 5. We were down to Wardlow, Billy Gunn, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. Wardlow and Billy Gunn. Oh my God, I'm getting mixed up here. Wardlow and MJF teamed up to throw out Billy Gunn and Luchasaurus, which they did. Orange Cassidy was back in the ring, rolling up. He got face-to-face with MJF, and MJF attacked Cassidy. Wardlow was holding on to Orange Cassidy, and MJF missed Cassidy and punched Wardlow, and Jungle Boy then threw out MJF. Jungle Boy and Cassidy threw out Wardlow together, and then the final two was Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy. Jungle Boy hit a Hurricane Rana on Orange Cassidy to eliminate Cassidy, and Jungle Boy will be challenging Cody next week for the TNT Championship. I've been saying it all day. People have been asking, who do you think wins the TNT Championship Battle Royal tonight? I said, after his great match at Double or Nothing, he's really been impressing me lately. I think Jungle Boy should win tonight. And indeed, he did. Now, I don't think Jungle Boy is going to win the TNT Championship next week, but this reminds me of his match with Chris Jericho. Jungle Boy got a huge spotlight in his match with Chris Jericho back in December. Jungle Boy had a spotlight at Double or Nothing against MJF, and now we have it again with him next week against Cody for the TNT Championship. They're going to absolutely tear the house down. They're going to tear Daly's place down, in my opinion. I really want Jungle Boy to win, but at the end of the day, this is Cody's first defense, and Cody should not be losing the TNT Championship in his first defense. But I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Battle Royal, but I am a big fan of Jungle Boy winning, and this is only going to benefit Jungle Boy more when he faces Cody next week for the TNT Championship on Dynamite. That should be fantastic. Main event segment, the Inner Circle pep rally. We see a big table of objects being laid out, and the first thing we see is a box of t-shirts with the Inner Circle on them, Stadium Stampede t-shirts, so the Inner Circle is throwing them to the crowd. This was hilarious. They were acting like they won when they lost, and they both got each other gifts. Everybody got each other gifts. Jericho, I don't remember all of it, but let me try to remember. I know Santana gave Ortiz chopped cheese with no bev. So I laughed my ass off with that. Sammy Guevara gave Jericho a poster board of Mark Anthony, which was his hero. And Guevara gave Jake Hager big boots. Jake Hager cut a speech. And then, I don't remember all of it, but I mean, heck, I laughed my ass off the entire time. This was one of the most hilarious segments I think I've seen on Dynamite in a while. I laughed my ass off throughout this entire thing. But the real thing that happened here was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson came out. He came out with a whole crew from UFC. I didn't watch UFC, so I don't know most of the guys. The only guy I knew there was Henry Sendeo. And Chris Jericho said, "You better apologize of what you did to me 10 years ago on a Monday night from knocking me out." Mike Tyson said, "I'm not going to apologize." Mike Tyson ripped his shirt. Mike Tyson gave Jericho a little shove, and Jericho pushed Mike Tyson, and then a huge, gigantic brawl started. The Mike Tyson's guys, the Inner Circle, they all got into a brawl. The entire roster came out to separate Jericho and Mike Tyson. Cody was screaming from the top of his lungs to get everybody out and to separate Jericho and Tyson. This was a very chaotic ending. The rally with the Inner Circle guys giving each other gifts was fantastic. Again, I laughed my ass off the entire time. And then the Mike Tyson Chris Jericho brawl is Mike Tyson coming out of retirement to set up a match with Chris Jericho, possibly at All Out. I'm guessing yes, and I'm really invested in it already. AEW knows how to use new income legends, and they know how to use their legends. WWE used Cain Velasquez and Tyson Fury in a terrible way. People did not want to see them. I feel like AEW brought in Mike Tyson to make it look like people want to see Mike Tyson, and it came off really good in my opinion. Chris Jericho versus Mike Tyson is all but confirmed, people. And that was the end of Dynamite tonight. Once again, the show after Double or Nothing was a home run. A lot of great things happened on this show, and it was great. That's it for the Dynamite review right here on the Big Five Field channel. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, subscribe right here on the Big Five Field channel. We're only 16 subscribers away from 100. Comment down below what you thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite show. If you enjoyed Dynamite and you thought it was a really good show, hit that like button, man. Follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. Follow me on Instagram at Conlon_Joseph. And follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins 515. Let's get him up to 200 followers over on Twitter. Guys, I'll be back here tomorrow on the channel for your NXT review. We got that cage match between Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher, so it should be interesting. Getting out of here. Have a good night. Stay safe.